Hi, and welcome back to the Christelle Project. My name is Christelle. And last question.
No.
Last question. I know we had fun, but the last
Yeah,
question.
there are two.
Huh?
I have
What are these? Oh, I forgot. Yes, I'm sorry. No,
to.
yes. Okay. Now, last but not least, um, how do you envision the next steps of your journey, considering everything that you've learned and experienced in your 20s?
I think that life will take unexpected courses for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the vision is still blurry for me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet where I'm gonna go with it. So, I feel like I'm expecting the unexpected.
Mm-hmm. Can I say something on that?
Yes.
Okay. What if you would like go to God and ask him like show me the vision, show me the vision, like of course he's gonna show you partially, right? Just like Abraham, he was like,
Mm,
these are all your children. Like
mm,
show me the vision so that I know what I'm working towards, so that I know what you're working me, like to what you're working me. And like for
mm,
example, if God shows you that you're going to be a manager or that you're going to be a leader,
mm,
He will work on your character and on your love for people.
mm,
And you might not understand it, right? But if you understand and if you have a notion of the vision, you will understand certain things that God makes you go through because you know that it's going to be part of the bigger pictures.
mm,
But sometimes you will only understand them once that's complete. Like once
mm,
the character development is
mm,
done, or
mm,
once that trial, whatever you want to
mhm,
call it, is
mhm,
done. What's
mhm.
that struggle? What's that sickness?
Yep.
And also sometimes you go through things for other people,
Mm,
meaning that you were, I'm not gonna say you were a victim of it,
mm,
but it went through you so that it can shed a greater light for other people.
mm. Yeah.
I've experienced it for example, the thing that we went through last year here in the house that I'm not gonna disclose. um, I at the end, towards the end of last year, there's someone like there's a really dear friend of mine, and she told me that she was experiencing the same thing at home,
Mm,
right? She didn't even tell me. I asked her a couple questions, and then
mm,
she was like, she just opened that door. I was like, oh, I actually went through this year,
mm,
for a very long time. I'm not saying that then I'm like, oh, now I know what I went through is what
mm,
we went through. No,
mm,
but I'm saying, oh, okay, maybe I should look at this in different various angles,
mhm,
even through the whole healing and whatever and forgiving and all that. But I was like, oh, okay. Like
mm,
for me, that was a point where God reminded me that certain things you go through, not because it's your target or you're the problem or whatever. Obviously, you're going to be a target to the devil, but like all these things, but also to help and encourage and, give a testimony out there. Maybe it's going to save a life later, you know? Yeah. Do you want to add something to it?
mm. Yeah, then I'm still hopeful for something good.
That's good.
Yeah, because the best is yet to come.
You
Not to be
see,
cheesy, but like
yes, exactly.
because anything can change. Always feel like there's something good out there that's just waiting for me to arrive.
Hmm.
So I'm still hopeful.
That's good because I when you talked about hope, it made me think about First Corinthians 13:13, where it
Mm,
says that so now faith, hope, and love abides, these three, but the greatest of these is hope. Sorry, the greatest of these is love. Um, so like it's a good thing, but the fact that the three things that he mentions, hope is in it. I believe in life like you can have. That's something I even wrote. Well, I'm not gonna say, but it's something I wrote in the like shortly where I said that you can have the faith for the vision, you can have the love for the vision, but if you do not have hope for the vision, you might experience the whole vision differently. Because if God says, again, you're going to be a leader, you're going to be a manager, and you have the faith for it, you've done the work, you have the love for the people, but you don't necessarily have the hope that will push you. Like
mm,
hope is something that God really
mm,
wants us to have, and hope is something that the world doesn't necessarily always have because with hope there's peace. I associate hope with peace because hope is something so like even the word itself, it's just something, one of those words that's, it's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful word. Like
it's
when you say
attached to
hope,
faith also.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course, of course. And I think that hope is like it's needed. It's
Yeah, but
absolutely needed.
yeah, I feel like sometimes I have like the conviction
Mm,
of hope,
mm.
but in my everyday life,
Yeah. Like, what does it say? No, but it's a good thing. I think
yeah.
self-awareness is key
Mm,
in this life and in also relationship with God.
mm.
You know.
Something I did not say with the whole career path
Yeah.
questions
Yeah.
is that I feel like something that was very unexpected for me
Mm,
because I've been known I am kind of a people pleaser,
mm.
kind of,
Working on it.
kind of,
Working on it.
and I was very shocked that I was able to, for example, leave jobs to go for a better opportunity for me. So it was like I was like shocked that I was like this confident in doing so.
Able.
Yes,
Mm,
and doing it.
mm. That's a good thing.
So for myself, like finding better things for me.
That's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can, like, the people pleaser can be of part of that question where we said one of the things that you go through and where we talked about the roots and all that. Like,
Because I feel like in for example in the job aspect, like I don't have that at all. I'm not here to please.
anyone. That's a really good thing. But you know what I want to say? Like, I feel like firstborns tend to be more people pleasers than other children.
Hmm.
I might be wrong, but I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's an instinctive,
yeah. Because you want
natural
to please your parents, for
yes
example. So it's like
for everything. And so
yeah.
it's as if it's instilled into the child,
Mm,
please me. And so
you
if
don't
your
do anything
care,
wrong or don't
yeah,
speak up and
if your
things
caregivers
like
already
that.
tell you to please them, then you think that that's the way that you should love others by pleasing them. And so I think that they definitely have everyone of course has to like work on it.
Mm,
Like I've worked on it. But I feel like firstborns tend to like definitely struggle with that a little bit more.
yeah. It's life and
Yeah.
you don't choose it. You chose you.
Exactly.
Period.
Clock it. All right, can we go to the last
Yes.
question? Okay. That's a personal question that I wanted to ask you. Could you discuss how moving out impacted your lifestyle and perspective, and how moving back in
Subsequently.
subsequent? I
Sorry.
didn't like your tone.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to articulate.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Thank you for helping me. Subsequently influence your life and choices.
Yes. So it taught me a lot. Okay, so
Mm-mm-mm.
let's go through the points.
Yes, let's dive
Point
in.
one.
Mm-hmm.
It taught me about a lot about trying to figure out things for myself
Mm.
because you're out there on your own. And for example, when something is broken, usually I would just tell dad and he would fix it. And here I just have to figure it out myself,
Mm.
figure out how to navigate that.
Mm.
And it was quite annoying.
Mm.
You're very frustrated because I'm
Mhm.
like, why am I supposed to be here adulting?
Yes.
A whole adult?
Yes.
For what?
Yes.
Adulthood is a scam. Of
What is the
course,
purpose?
yes, we've been bamboozled. Bamboozled. That's the word.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was something. So for example, I one time I lost my key. So I went
Very
to
traumatic. That was very traumatic for all of us.
it
Oh
was like
yeah.
my apartment key and I really could not figure out where I lost it.
Mm.
Like I was so sure that I had it in my bag and I didn't and I looked for my car. RIP my car. And it just
There
it
wasn't
wasn't
a
in
car
there.
crash. Was
No,
there?
no, but it's just
I know, I
RIP.
know, I know. I just want to say like there wasn't a car crash. It's just that the
Okay.
car is not with us anymore.
Yeah. So and yeah, so it's like I had to call the owner. He wasn't picking up, so I called the real estate agency. They gave me his number, so I called him. And it's like, oh, I can do it only by tomorrow. I'm like, and
So you
I'm all the way over there. What am I supposed to do? So I went home. I sat at home, and then
all the way back home. So
yeah, it was
where we
only two
used to live,
hours.
2
But
hours is quite
no,
a.
yeah.
2 hours when you're under the frustration, when you're mad
It
and all
was
that.
after work. It was already late.
Yes.
So it was.
Was it on a Tuesday or was it on a?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
I
It
think
was
you went
really.
back home and then you stayed there to work from
Mm-mm,
home.
no.
You went back the morning?
Yeah. Yeah. I left at 6 or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I only slept like 5 hours, maybe something like
I
that.
remember. I can
Yeah.
literally see the whole thing. I remember when you went back home.
And I was just, it was a lot.
You were devastated.
But it turned out I didn't lose my keys.
Yeah.
They were just in the door, but on the other side. So I left my apartment without my keys.
Yes.
So that
So
was fine.
the door of your. Oh, okay.
So the keys were on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was the door closed then?
Yeah.
How was the door closed if the key wasn't on the side? How did you leave the house?
I opened it, but I'd never took the keys out. So I just closed the door, but then you cannot enter. You cannot enter back if you don't have the keys.
But how is the key?
The key is in the door.
Yes, but at the side of the apartment or the side of the hallway?
The side of the apartment.
How did you close the door then?
I didn't close it like locked. I didn't.
You didn't lock the door. So
No.
that's what I mean. So
No,
anyone
no.
could have just entered the.
Yeah. No, because they have some type of smart lock.
Okay.
Like
okay,
double
okay,
lock
okay.
situation.
Okay.
So it's always locked even if you.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's how I was like, how.
Because even the owner, he came, he tried with his own keys and it wasn't working. And he was like, okay, so now we have to call that other person.
Yeah.
And he came in, he fixed it. The keys were in it and the keys were still working.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to pay for the whole.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, you also have to pay that person.
Yeah.
Who
comes and fixes.
Voilà.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a whole thing. But yeah, figuring out those things was a learning curve. And yeah, especially as a young girlie, like never having to do any of that in my life.
Yes.
Being responsible of doing those things.
Yeah.
It was very hard and still is to this day. I feel like yeah. But yeah, once you go through that, you learn.
Was it more. Like okay, yeah. So how has moving them back in?
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
So the practical side,
yes,
for me was very easy. The whole paying bills, getting the trash out, figuring out the groceries, figuring out the budget. Those things were very easy, just because of the people who raised me. So I knew
people. I said. Oh Lord, yes. So, I get what you mean.
So that's how. Those things were very easy for me to do, which was also nice because that's something also you're kind of not scared, but like you're wondering how it will go.
It gonna work? Yeah,
and you just do. And
you just do
insurance,
it because you have to do it.
All these things, all the extra costs that come with it. It's a lot.
It's a lot in this economy, and it wasn't even in this economy. It was in another one.
Post-COVID,
so it was
kind of 2021.
It was all right compared to now.
I don't think it has changed. It's more expensive, but it hasn't really changed much.
Okay.
The principle is the same. You gotta pay your bills.
Pay your bills.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Then also being independent, I feel like it came at a cost. But it can also at the benefit. Like usually here, for example, when I used to be back home before that, it was like, oh, if I wanted something, I'd have to go to the groceries and I'll wait for mom to go with me, or I'd go with her and then get the groceries that I want, While here it's, or you have to wait for the right time when they're ready for you to go, and all of that. So here it's like you're in your own apartment. If I want to go shopping, I'm going shopping. Yeah. If I want to go eat something, get me a fast food, get me a restaurant, take out, I'm just doing it. Yeah. And it's really like in the moment. And it's just like, I just do. Yeah. So, but it comes also at the cost of like paying your bills and being more responsible because it's your name on the list, That's big. And So That's something different.
So how has moving back in changed that all?
To me, for me, for example, the thing I struggled with was a lot of it was mental.
Yeah.
I feel like I wanted to travel and work abroad so much, but then I did not realize how much like I would miss my family.
Mm.
I would miss like all these other things that I was used to, and
Mhm.
now I have to do all these things, and it came with a lot very quickly.
Like a wave.
Yes, and I
Mm.
could not handle it like
Mhm.
mentally. I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mhm.
But then work is just work, so you just do your
Yeah.
work, and then but then long hours, the whole it takes a toll on you. So it was all of that. So mentally, I feel like I'm better now, and I feel like I can reflect on the things I did well, the things I didn't do well,
Yes.
um, the things that happened, the good and the bad. And then I'm like, I feel like if I do it now, knowing what I know, it will go way more easier
Mhm.
because I'm more prepared. I
Yes.
feel that's like, yeah, I wasn't prepared.
Yes, you weren't. But could you blame yourself though?
No,
No, you could absolutely
no.
no. If you had known in, let's say, February that you were going to do that in September,
Mm,
then you would have been
mm,
prepared. Like minimal, even the
mm,
mental toll was gonna be lower. It was
mm.
going to be there for like a moment, but
Yeah,
then
and
it was
then you,
gonna,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that mental thing, it really it
Mm,
stuck.
mm,
It really stuck.
mm.
And I don't want to deepen it, but I'm just saying, like, it really stuck
Yeah,
because it was a drastic life change. You know,
yes.
like it's just something that changes
Like
overnight.
I've never been away from my parents for more than a week,
Yeah,
and there it was just all the time, even
yeah,
though I was seeing them every weekend.
yeah.
But
Every single weekend she was home.
without fail,
Not a fail. Gas, no gas. Traffic, no traffic. She was there. No, but you know what? It
yeah.
makes sense. Like,
Mm.
it's not even to like I'm not even saying that to bully you or something. Like, but the fact that we actually went through this whole COVID thing, it actually strengthened this relationship with the like with family because we were constantly seeing each other all the
Mm.
time. So there was no going to school for
Mm.
8 hours, 10 hours, whatever,
Yeah.
and going back
School
home.
was just in your room, and
Everything was at home. So for you to like from one moment to another, because of some like everything changed. Like
mm,
can't imagine.
yeah, after 2 years of COVID,
Like
and
whoa,
then being there
yeah,
by yourself,
yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah.
everything
Even if
by
it's
your
like
own
2 hours
self.
away,
Yeah.
like it looked like an eternity.
Yeah. And that's the thing when I say also, I said before, like
Mm-hmm.
about relying on God.
Mm.
That was that.
Did you have a choice?
When they were like faith. When that's the only thing you can rely
That's
on.
the only thing, the only
When the
one.
parents are gone, sister, brother, another postcode. The only thing you got.
It's gas. It sounds like those testimonies when it was like he stripped me away from everything, as if you drove something like you lost everything. It's
But
a good
yeah,
thing. It shapes you definitely. One
there's
thing,
also
yeah.
something about the habits that I also told
I
you.
wanted to touch on
Yeah.
that. Can I say it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because as we're all navigating life and deciding, thinking about maybe moving or looking for opportunities outside of home that might be whether they're temporary or not. Well, one advice that I asked my sister was like, okay, what would you advise someone? I don't even know. I don't remember when I asked you that, but like,
Mm,
what would you advise
I
someone?
think
Like,
it was in a car. Or something.
yeah, but not. I mean, like the time period. Like, I don't know.
No, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I know. I asked her like, what is something, and that's one of those things that
I
really
think.
stuck to me for life. Because
Mm.
if someone like I'll get to the
It touched you,
question.
huh?
No, 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 not deeply because it's no because you know what? It was as if you just put a mirror in front of me without
Mm.
knowing it because it made me have to face every single habits of mine. So the thing that she said is that if you're planning on moving out and all that, and it's something that you want to get ready for, prepared for before that, just know that whatever habits you have here right now, they will be the same there. Like it's not because you change your environment that your habits don't change. Okay, pause.
Say that again.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not because you change the environments that your habits also changed. And this makes me think about the children of Israel
Mm.
when they were in the desert
Mm.
and they came to the promised land. Their habits were the same. the habits are the same. They're still worshiping the same gods. They're still doing all these things, and it's like you're in the promise. You finally got what God promised you. You finally got all these things. You're super happy, but did you let God work on your character? Because it's the character development that will absolutely determine how you're going to blossom in the promise. If God promised you that you're going to be a leader, a manager, whatever, and you don't let him work on the love for people, you're immediately going to ruin it, because leadership is all about them and not about you.
Yeah. And I was working at a job one time, and at one of my jobs, and you could
One of the
see
many.
at this 26-year young.
Come on.
And there are certain managers sometimes who were not that nice to like young, just graduated people,
Yeah.
and so it felt like they didn't have the
Skills.
managerial skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they have the knowledge, they have the
Mm,
expertise,
mm.
but working like helping people grow or helping people just in your
Be their
team,
slaves. Yeah.
they're not qualified in that
Yeah.
area.
No, you can tell.
Mm.
I can always tell.
Mm.
I can always
When
tell.
the turnover hits,
Yes.
you tell where it's concentrated. But yeah,
No, but it's so important, and I think that might be like one of the most important things that I want people to like, take back from this interview. It's like you have to know that if you just sit here and wait on things to change for you, that's not how life works.
Mm-mm.
Like when we talk about God and faith and all that, just know
Mm.
that the Bible says that faith without work is dead. So you have the faith for the promise, but where are the works? Where is the evidence of your
The
work?
that are testifying
Yeah,
their faith.
where's the evidence? Like you have to do something with whatever God has told you that he was going to give you, whatever like that he promised you, whatever he told you that you are, your identity. Like what are you doing now? So sometimes you're talking about, oh yeah, the enemy this, the enemy that, but what if you're your own worst enemy? You're the enemy sometimes of your own destiny. So that's why the enemy has to back up, and it's like, oh no, you're already doing a great work, stumbling and blocking yourself, being your own obstacle, just because you don't want to do the work. You have all the tools, by the way, because when God creates you, when God had created you, he created you with everything already. It's like for the woman when she's pregnant with a girl, she has already all her eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Like scientifically, like she already has all her eggs. Like you already have everything in you. It's all about times, seasons, of course, when one thing is supposed to come to pass, when one thing is supposed to manifest. But if you just like God gave you all the ingredients in you, he's just telling you to bake the cake, make the cake, build the building, all those things. When he told you like, oh, you're going to be an investor, you're going to be an author, you're going to be an artist, and all those things, all those things are already in you, and what you need to do is to work on them and to add even more to that in the capacity that you can, in the capacity that God allows you to have, and all those things. Like that's something really important that you're supposed to do. So the habits is something that, as you have seen, I'm working on, because it's one thing to get a revelation, it's one thing to get convicted, it's another thing to act on that revelation. I can have a revelation that will change my mind and change my life, but like I have to constantly work and live through that revelation. Like when I say revelation of God, or also revelation of like what you just said, like the habits. Because when you said that, it really made me see that I have a lot of bad habits that are not going to change if I don't change them.
So
Like I
That's
can
it.
be wherever I am, wherever I can live in Hollywood, I can live in China, I can live wherever. Those same habits are going to be there, because you're going to look at the same things. Like if I have a bad habit of eating fast food, the first thing I'm going to look when I move, whatever, or even if I travel, t'as dit quoi? Adults anymore. Not really. Till the end. Till the end. No, like her sisters. It's to look for that. If I struggle mentally, or if I struggle emotionally, and instead of going to God as my first resource, I go to other things like people, places, things, food, all those things. If those are my mechanism, then it doesn't matter where I live. I can live here, I can live in a palace, I can live anywhere. That habit's still going to be the same. That's why we talk about surrendering
also be practical
to God.
things like cleaning,
Yes,
hygiene,
all those things.
food,
Yes, moving, all that. Like how you spend your time.
routine.
Yeah. all those
Yeah.
things. Like it all
Exactly.
starts wherever you are.
Mm.
Because people a lot want to talk about successful people, like, oh, how come you're so successful? Like, what is, what is one thing you would
What's the
tell?
secret? What's
Yeah,
the
yeah. What's the
key?
secret? What's the key? Or and then people are gonna be like, the one thing you're supposed to do. Like they're like make it so deep, but it's because they started doing one thing, or they started doing those things, or they started having new habits. And habits is about doing something regularly until it becomes a lifestyle.
And that's an action.
It is
Doing.
an action. Exactly.
It's
Work
starting.
is the work. Like
It's the
I
hard
believe that
work.
there are a lot of lazy Christians because they just expect God to do everything for them.
Mm.
And they're like, God, you promised. Yes, he did. But he also told you to do the work. Like if you look at all the prophets, all these things, like
Instead,
all those
you'll
characters of the
benefit
Bible.
from the labor. Tu profites de ton travail. Je sais
Yes.
plus, je crois.
Yes. And even if you go
Forgot the
look in
verse.
Proverbs, you will see that we talk a lot about foolish people, about lazy people. And although sometimes it can hurt when you read Proverbs, like I'm not gonna lie, but it's supposed to be the Bible is supposed to be like
Mirror.
like a reflection, like, oh, okay, it has to expose. If it doesn't expose something in you,
Mm.
then I think that is pride that's just blocking your eyes.
Mm.
That's it. Because the Bible will offend you. It will offend you, like guarantee. But also pray, like, Lord, strip me from my pride, because pride is something that God
Mm.
hates, so that you may see exactly, like
Mm.
it says in Ephesians, like, open up the eyes of my heart,
Mm.
open up the eyes of my heart, that I may see like the greater purpose for which you called me to, like all those things, and I may experience the love and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're at the end. This was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Well,
welcome.
you are so welcome too.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Until next
It
time.
was a
So it
pleasure.
was a pleasure having my sister here as my first interviewee, and
Period.
that's my sister. You can follow her on social media. I'll link it all down below. She's also an artist. We didn't mention it, but she's an artist. She does art, and I'd say real art, not just like amateur art. She does real art. She's been doing it for a very long time. It's something that God has been working on her, through her, all those things. It's very inspiring. Like I told her, it's going to be the only art that's going to be in my home, because that's how you support your own. And yeah, you can take a look on her socials and all that. And if you've liked this, obviously make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Anything that has been going on through your mind, if you like a prayer, if you like
And also
anything
tell
else,
us your,
yeah,
your advices.
your advices.
Yeah.
Like, how are your 20s going? If you're a teen, how do you look forward to your 20s? If you're in your 30s, how are your 30s going? All those things, like, we'd
40 and
love to
ups.
connect. Yeah, we'd love to know more
Yes.
about your wisdom, your knowledge, all those things. And yeah, until next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.